Teachers, April 22nd is almost here. Do you know what that means? Right, Earth Day is right around the corner, and Earth Day is such a unique and fun and interesting holiday to celebrate with your students. It is so important that we are building generations of young children who are going to work hard and care for our amazing planet. And what better way to do that than by reading picture books? I think picture books are like a window to the outside world, things that we sometimes just won't get to experience in our life, but also times where we just get to use picture books in ways to help educate and spread the word for whatever we're celebrating. So today I have 3 very unique picture books that I want to share with you that are some of my absolute favorite that you can use to talk with your students about Earth Day. There are other recommendations over on my blog as well, so you can see those and then grab the links to any of the books that you may be interested in over on the blog. So before we start, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. That way you don't miss any of the future videos coming out on the 𝗦cie Harris Teaching channel. So let's get started. All right, so this is my first recommendation, and when I first saw this book, I'm pretty sure I cried. It's called 𝗦cie 𝗰𝗶𝗹. The 𝗦cie 𝗰𝗶𝗹 is kind of the story of, I would say, a tree or trees, but then also of mankind and how mankind has changed from, early on to what it is now to even what it will be in the future. So the story goes along and, there's this young tree. It says there was once a sapling who wanted nothing more than to commune with everything in its magical world. So you could see the world is clearly uninhabited. There's trees and vegetation and animals and such. So then people come along, right? And you can see that that's clearly a long time ago. And the tree asks, "Will you sit with us?" But it goes on and says, "They are busy, small one. They work to hunt and to gather." And then it continues on. And you can see now we're kind of at, the pilgrim stage here. They're working hard to build their communities. And on every single page, the tree asks, "Will you sit with us?" And so it just keeps going. I'm just going to kind of flip through, make sure you can see here. You can see the progression of civilization as it goes through. So here we're still kind of in that early colonial stage, and then we kind of move out of that as well. Here we're a little bit, more modern, and then we get more into the modern day. Here you can see a highway and skyscrapers. Then it goes into even more, and again on every page, the sapling or the tree asks, "Will you sit with us?" But there's always excuses. They have hunted and gathered. They found community. They've built shelters for comfort. They've built roads to connect with others. They fought for freedom. They've mass-produced food. Like all of these things that have been kind of not in our way, but the things that we were working for as a civilization. And then hello future, right? We've got flying cars and all kinds of stuff here. And there's that tree. Will you sit with us still? And then the story ends with these 2 children. Right here. So they're asking, "Mommy, what is that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's a tree. There used to be trees everywhere, but now they don't exist anymore." And they ask, what happened to them? And the children ask, "Can we sit with it for a while?" And so they sit down and kind of just enjoy the tree because now they don't have them anymore. And I just think this is such a powerful message to kind of show life gets in the way. Life gets in the way every day of us just stopping and enjoying not just a tree, but everything, where we are in life and the people in our life and our family and our friends and, the blessings that we've had and just, such a powerful story. So highly recommend the 𝗦cie 𝗰𝗶𝗹. Go and grab that one, definitely. All right, my next recommendation today is called Black Beach. This one is actually the story behind why Earth Day was created. So it's a community and oil spill and the origin of Earth Day. So this is a great story to show the history of Earth Day and like why it even happened in the first place. So it goes into the story of there's a school here, and a principal interrupts something bad has happened in their community. There has been an oil spill, and the children are all worried. So you know, one of the main characters too, it's like her favorite place is that beach where the oil spill happened. And she's kind of running around trying to figure out like, what in the world are we gonna do? Like, she's so anxious. She goes down to her favorite spot, and clearly it's not like, you know, it was. And so the community obviously comes together. They're cleaning animals. They're trying to clean up as much as possible, but it's not enough. So they work together and figure out like, hey, we need more eyes on this. Like, we need people to come and see this horrible disaster. So the news starts to spread. The president comes. There's President Nixon coming. And there's a senator who comes as well. But basically, the senator goes back. They hire someone to organize a national day of environmental celebration and protest. And it would be called Earth Day. So you can see there's information about the very first Earth Day. I believe it was in 1970 something. I can't remember right. But so it goes on, and then you can see it comes back to the children. And then, of course, it ends with the beach being clean, right? And I really like this book, too, because in the very back, there is a really neat timeline that you can go through with your students about like when Earth Day, 1970, I was right. And then there's some easy ways to get started as far as being an activist. So really great historical fiction type story about the beginning of Earth Day. So I think this one's definitely unique and one you need to grab. All right, so another recommendation, and this again is an amazing story. This is actually a true story of, and I never know if I say the name right, so I do apologize if you know how to say it. Please help me. 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹. 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹. It's the boy who grew a forest. And so this is a story about this young man who lived in a community, and I don't remember if it says where. Oh, yeah, India. And trees obviously were very important. They provided shade because it's so hot. They provide food. They provide shelter. But because of the rainy season, the flooding was basically eroding the land, taking away all of the trees, which was taking away, you know, habitats and homes for animals and all of the things that they use the trees for as well. So he went and shared his fear with the villagers, and they basically gave him 20 bamboo saplings. And so he took those saplings himself, found a patch of land that wasn't being affected by the floods, and he planted them. And he looked after every single one every single day until they grew and grew and grew. And then as they grew healthier and thicker, he was able to take, you know, even more and continue to spread, make the forest bigger, basically. And he was able to like help make the soil richer. It says, as the years passed and the boy grew, so did a forest, 10 acres, 20 acres, then 40. So just from those 20 saplings, he was able to grow this entire forest. And so it said that wildlife started coming back to the forest. He came back to the forest. And then some wanted to harvest the forest to build new homes, but the man was there to plant new. So as they were chopping down some of the plants, he was there planting more. There were people who wanted to come and hunt for the animals, but he was there saying no to protect them. And so it ends with, now in India, on a large river island, among wildlife and trees as tall as buildings, there lives a man who has planted a forest. The forest is called Molai, M-O-L-A-I, after a man named 𝗦cie𝗰𝗶𝗹, who never stopped planting and pruning and protecting. Only by growing plants, the earth will survive. And that's a quote from him. So again, great story. Just again, talks about the power of one person can have that makes a difference. It just takes determination, you know, a cause, hard work, and your heart. So the boy who grew a forest is another great, unique recommendation for Earth Day. So I have more books to recommend that are very unique that you may not have even heard of over on the blog post. So your next step is to click that see more button below and grab the link to the full blog post where you can see links to the ones that I've recommended and links to even more over there. So make sure to head over and take a look. And I hope you find a new picture book to share with your students this Earth Day. So thank you so much. Make sure you, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you soon. Thanks so much. Bye.